Hi babies, welcome back to my channel. Today is a video about me being pregnant through this global pandemic. She's just such fun. And just my journey from beginning till when I had the babies, really. Where? Oh my god, you can really see I've had skin in this. Oh well, we'll just see how it goes, eh? So when I found out I was pregnant, I was only 2 to 3 weeks pregnant when I got my test. That was literally a year ago. It was December the 3rd or the 2nd, I think, when I found out I was pregnant. Now, funny story, I actually got a pregnancy test on the Thursday night when I was on my way back from work. I just felt something wasn't right. And then on the Friday morning, I did the pregnancy test. I went through the whole day without telling Sam, went to work, and I was like, oh my god, what the hell? And then basically I was going to get my nails done, and then I thought, oh my god, I literally cannot go and get my nails done. And then Sam was like, oh well, if you're going to go and get your nails done, this was before I told him I'd cancelled, I'm going to go to Derby to see my friend. And I was like, okay, I'm still going to let him go because I don't want him to worry. So imagine he didn't get back from his friend's house till 10:30 at night. So when I found out I was pregnant, obviously I knew that, you know, it was happening. My life was going to change. So when I told Sam, Sam was shocked that I was pregnant. Me and him, because this pregnancy was not planned. This pregnancy was not planned whatsoever. So when I found out I was pregnant and he found out I was pregnant, we was both, to say the least, stressing, because we was like, oh my god. So then obviously time went on, no one knew. I told a few of my friends. Sam kept it quiet. I do not know how. But anyway, when I went to my scan, obviously I was just rolling in thinking, I just want to check that my baby's okay, everything's going to be fine, Mum, I'll call you after, let you know that the scan's all good. And then me and Sam go into the scan room and we're just sitting there, and I just knew, I knew it was twins, right? Because when she was putting that, I don't even know what it's called, that thing around my belly, I was seeing different shadows and I was so confused. I was thinking, hang on, is there supposed to be like, is my baby in half or something? Like, why am I seeing different white shadows and why am I not seeing just one whole big shadow here? And then seconds later, after my mind's ticking, she's like, oh, have you got multiples in your family? And we were like, no. And she was like, well, congratulations, you're having twins. Me and Sam burst out laughing. We looked at each other and just, we was laughing for about 5 minutes. And the woman that was doing the belly thing was like, are you okay? We were just so chilled. And then we was that chilled, I walk out, me and Sam walk out, I'm just toddling off out of the hospital. And then oh yeah, hang on, I rang my mum. She kept saying, you're lying to me, Amy. You need to stop lying to me because I'm going to tell my friends, and then you can't tell me one thing and then we have to tell them that you was joking. I was like, Mum, I'm being serious, I'm having twins. So then that was really funny. We leave the hospital, we just walk on out. I get in my car, driving back to work, I ring my manager, I'm like, yeah, everything's fine, I just found out I'm having twins, but it's all good. And she's like, Amy, the pregnancy wasn't planned, go home, take the day off, take it all in. I was like, it's fine, don't worry, I'm all good. I think I just it didn't hit me at all, really. And then the hospital ringed me and they're like, Amy, you need to come back, you've not had any of your bloods done, you've not had any tests done, you can't just walk on out. I said, sorry, I was in that much of a world on my own, so I had to go back. Honestly. And then I found out I was pregnant, I found out I was having twins, so that was crazy. I am just so in awe and so happy, I can't even explain. Sometimes I'm walking around shopping and whatnot with the babies, and I've just got this massive smile on my face, and people say to me, God, you don't look stressed at all, what's wrong with you? I'm like, yeah, because I've got the biggest blessing ever, that's why. So then shortly after I found out, obviously I was pregnant with twins, I told my nan. Really glad I did that. Unfortunately, she passed away in the March, which was really hard because I couldn't go to the hospital because of the coronavirus. And then my mum and dad said that they thought it was best that I didn't live at home anymore, so because of everything that was going on. So I moved in with Sam's nan. Me and Sam did. We isolated because they also said as well about pregnant women being at high risk, and because I was in a high risk pregnancy anyway, I was double high risk really. So moved out of my house, moved into Sam's nan's house, fully isolated. I remember my friends coming to the doorstep because I couldn't see them. And my mum, and it was so hard for me because my mum lost her mum, and we just FaceTimed. I FaceTimed her as much as I could. I rang her. I went on social distant walks with her, and I lived at Sam's nan's for, I think it was about 8 to 10 weeks, and then I moved back home, and me and my mum, literally, me and my mum cried to each other because I couldn't even go to my nan's funeral because there was only 10 people that were allowed to go, and I was one that couldn't go. So I followed the hearse in my own car. That was hard for me as well, which I don't, not a lot of people know this stuff. But I'm talking about my journey, so I'm going to talk about it in full. And I couldn't go to my mum and dad's house after and be there for my mum. It was really, really hard. But I'm glad that my nan knew that I was pregnant with twins, and I know she's looking down on me now. So, moving on from that, shortly after then I had my private scan to find out whether I was having 2 girls, 2 boys, 1 of each. And when me and Sam literally went to this private scan, and then because of all this COVID, we couldn't do like a big gender reveal. We was one side of the street, my mum and dad and his mum and dad were the other side of the street, and we announced the genders. And it was as simple and as boring as that. So when we found out we was having 2 girls, so funny, Sam checked the scan thing again to make sure. I think secretly he thought, 2 more of Amy, what am I going to do? So it was praying it was a boy if he checked again. But he absolutely is so in awe of the girls. It is so lovely to see. So when we found out it was 2 girls, which was amazing. And now I have 2 beautiful girls that are 5 months old, Penelope Jane and Poppy Marie. They are my world and more. They're just amazing in every single way. So that was really, really funny. For the whole pregnancy really, me and Sam were really chilled. I used to go on walks every day. I used to walk miles every day. I think that's what kept my fitness up really, and that's why I think I made it to 38 weeks, because I was just walking every day. I was eating quite healthy. Everything was all quite good. I didn't have any issues really, which is quite rare for a multiple pregnancy. So, and I had a caesarean, and that was planned. I hate operations, but the thought of trying to give birth naturally with 2 babies, the anxiety was too much for me, and I just thought, no, I can't. Do you know what? I've had a massive fear of going into labour. And how weird is this actually? When I went to my first midwife appointment, I didn't know I was having twins at the time, because when you find out you're pregnant, you just go and see a midwife for like your checks or whatever. And then they said, have you got twins in the family? And I said, no. My dad's nan was a twin, but he forgot. I was just like, Dad, are you for real? But anyway, I said to the woman, can I opt for a caesarean? And she said to me, these were her words, you can only opt for caesarean if you're having twins, which is unlikely, or you've got any like diabetic problems, etc. So I was like, oh, well, I'll be having a natural birth then. And then when I found out it was twins, I was instantly like, yes, caesarean, here I come. Unbelievable. I'd forgotten about that. So yeah, and I was so worried about that caesarean. And then obviously I was pregnant for 38 weeks. With twins, that is really good. Normally when you get to the 30 mark, when I got to the 30 week, I was like, right, and the hospital said to me, look, you could go at any point from 30 weeks, so do not do a lot. Every morning I woke up thinking, is today the day? And then it got to my caesarean at 38 weeks, and I was like, wow. And my babies could have gone longer. Poppy and Penelope definitely could have stayed in my tummy for longer if they wanted to. But yeah, crazy. So when obviously it came to my operation, luckily Sam could be with me during the caesarean, so I'm really lucky. And to the women out there who have had to go through it on your own during this really awful time, honestly, my hat goes off to you completely. I think you're absolutely amazing and so strong. If you're currently pregnant at the moment and unfortunately your partners haven't been able to be with you so far, I know exactly what that feels like, and it is heartbreaking. I know that I've had to go through a lot on my own, and I felt like during my pregnancy that because of COVID, NHS was so maxed out with everything else. Unfortunately, the maternity led unit and the wards for pregnancy and pregnant women got the backfall of it, and it makes me sad, because when you're pregnant, I've heard so many different stories to what my experience was like. I used to dress myself up to go to Tesco. I used to put a full face of makeup on to go to the garden centre, because that is the only place I could go, and I wanted to show my bump off. I wanted everybody to see my bump. I was so proud of myself and my bump. Majority of it was spent in lockdown. So obviously other people have different experiences to me of what their pregnancy was like pre-COVID. When I get pregnant again, I know that my experience will be completely different. It will be such a different experience for me. You know, I haven't been able to go to any classes really. I know that you can now, but I wasn't able to before. My midwife didn't see me at all. I was seen at the hospital every 2 weeks towards the end, because Poppy's growth was worrying them, so I had that security. But I know that a lot of women haven't had that, and it's really hard. And I think if you are carrying a baby through pregnancy and you've had a baby through pregnancy, it's not a COVID baby. I hate that word. Oh, you've had a COVID baby. No, we have not. Us women will look back in years to come and think, God, like, oh no, I'll look back at myself and think, God, like, I can't believe I did that. You know, it's amazing really. So I just want to say to if you are pregnant out there and you are worried, concerned, and you just feel overwhelmed by all this coronavirus, don't, because you are not alone and there's loads of people out there. And if you follow my Instagram at Mama to Twins, which is the same as my YouTube, I've actually got a couple of chat forums going where like moms to be and moms talk about any questions, queries or worries that they've got. Or I mean, you know, some people are messaging there saying they're like upset or they're feeling a bit anxious, and we're just all there to support. It's definitely made me feel better on some of the questions I've had anyway. So obviously during my pregnancy, I had a baby shower, but it had to be social distanced. And because of coronavirus, these two of my best friends I hadn't seen. I remember telling them I was pregnant. We was in Fumo in Birmingham. I told them I was pregnant because my friend brought me this massive glass of Prosecco. So I told them I was pregnant. And we was all laughing at this. I was saying, oh my God, imagine it's twins. How would you feel? And I was like, yeah, no way, that'd never happen. But then ever since then, obviously went into lockdown. So I told them in like the December. And then we went into lockdown and February, March time. They hadn't seen me with a bump. And then they came to my baby shower and I was 35 weeks pregnant. And when I opened the door, they fell to the floor and burst into tears. And from that moment, I just knew that they love me so much and they really care about me, and the reaction, I wish I'd have filmed it. It was like something off Keeping Up with the Kardashians. It was so dramatic, and it was just typical us, to be honest. But it was cry. My mum was upstairs. She had to go up the stairs, and she was sat upstairs crying because of how emotional it was. Because they hadn't seen me. They couldn't see me, and I was massive when they saw me about to pop. So, and it's moments like that I'll just, you know, some of my family didn't even see my bump. Some of my cousins and my aunties, I told them they saw me when I was first pregnant. They didn't see my bump at all. And then I gave birth to the twins, so they hadn't seen me in real life. They hadn't seen my bump. And I know that sounds like strange, but as a woman, you know what I mean. And I know that you women out there that are pregnant feel the same. You want to show your bump off. You want people to see your bump, because when you've had the babies, you do talk about it. You're like, oh, well, did you know your bump and how round, and like, oh, your bump was this big when you saw your baby's kick, this, that and the other. Some of my friends, some of my family didn't get to see that, you know, and I know that's the same for so many women out there, and it is hard. And I just think us women should be so proud of ourselves for doing what we're doing as a mother. Going through coronavirus, through this pandemic, I think we are heroes, to be honest, in a lot more ways than one. Because as a mom, you also do not get a minute to just go for food with your friends, go for a drink and take a break. There is no break during this coronavirus. And that is also what people need to understand as well, because it is hard. But no, my pregnancy journey, to sum it up, I've learned so much about myself as a person. I've had to carry twins through a pandemic. I've grown these babies through the pandemic. I think that it's been one hell of a journey. And if you are pregnant at the moment, you are amazing, you are Superwoman, and you will get through it. What was that? trying to do a really empowering speech then. We'll go again. So, as I was saying, if you are pregnant, you are Superwoman, you are going to get through it. All of this worry now and this terrible pregnancy that you would have had, because everything's just so crap at the moment. You haven't been able to dress yourself up, show your bump off, you haven't been able to do anything. When that babies are here, it all goes away and it's all worth it. Like, I used to get so wrapped up in feeling like rubbish about how crap my pregnancy is and I'm not able to do anything. But now I'm just so in love with my babies. It's all like a distant memory. And on that note, I think I've said enough. Thank you so much for watching.